How's it going, guys? Casey here with the Coyote Works channel. Well, every year I like to set a couple of goals, and one of the goals that I set for myself this year was to become a better shooter. Well, this video is episode 1 in a series that's gonna last probably through the course of this entire year. The title of this video series is Learning How to Shoot Like an Operator, and I know that's kind of cheesy, and I don't know that I'll ever be able to learn how to shoot like an operator, but what I do want to do this year is really ramp up my shooting game. So, in order to be able to accomplish a goal, you have to have a plan, and you have to have the discipline to execute on that plan, to carry through the steps that'll get you to the result that you're looking for. So this video today, I wanted to talk to you guys about two things. My plan for becoming a better shooter, number one, and number two, the gear that I'm going to start out with. So a couple of things I think are worth saying. Number one is I do have a little bit of training and background, but nothing real intense, and it's been a long time ago. So if any of you out there are interested in becoming a better shooter, my hope is that this video series will kind of show you a good path to get there. So some of you guys might be interested in understanding why I made this decision, why I committed to this goal this year. And there's really two reasons for that. One is, and truthfully this is the big one, is that shooting is fun. It's one of those things that I look at like a sport, like any kind of an athletic thing. There's measurables in it, there's individual skills, it involves hand-eye coordination, it involves a certain amount of athleticism, and can really involve as much athleticism as you want it to. So the first reason is just pure and simple enjoyment and the challenge and the satisfaction of committing to do something on a consistent enough basis that you can see improvement in skill, that I can see improvement in my skill, hopefully. And the second practical reason is really that I want to hone the skills that I would likely need if I was ever in a situation that I needed to use a gun to defend myself or defend another person. So my focus throughout this, while I am interested in doing some just kind of fun stuff and some challenging stuff, for the most part, my focus is going to be on shooting skills that would have a practical application in some type of a self-defense situation. So what are you guys going to see in this video series? Well, I figured that I'll just kind of show you every step of the way. I'll show you some of my practice sessions, some of the drills that I'm using. I'll show you some of the trainings that I go to. Hopefully get a chance to introduce you guys to some of the instructors I work with, and basically just show you guys the whole process. So as far as the plan goes, my plan's really simple, and I've kind of broken it down into 3 areas. The first part is get training. The second part is dry practice, and the third part is range practice. So those 3 legs of my plan are what I need to maintain consistently throughout this year. So the plan is simple. The plan is get quality instruction from top-tier shooters, do plenty of dry practice, and do plenty of range practice. That's really the basic elements. So let's talk about the gear that I'm starting out with. Now, one thing to keep in mind is everything that I tell you guys today is based on what I know right now. So once I embark down this path of getting this instruction and learning, hopefully what's going to happen is I'm going to learn. And as I learn, my gear will probably evolve, my techniques, my drills, all of that stuff will evolve through this process. So I'll primarily be running 2 handguns and 1 carbine through the course of all this training. These are the firearms that I've chosen to focus on. One of my handguns is my Glock 19X. I've done a slight modification to this, and I've got a review video coming out on it. But this is basically a Glock 19X that I've modified just a little bit. The second handgun is just a stock Glock 17 9mm. This one right now I have stuck on there the Surefire. I think this is the X300, I think they call that. Yeah, the X300U. And then for a rifle, what I'm running is the Daniel Defense V11 M4. And how I have the rifle set up right now is I've got this Leupold Patrol 1.25 by 4.5 power scope on it, a set of backup iron sights, and other than that it's bone stock. I got a little forward grip on here that, and this is actually the Daniel Defense forward grip that came on there. I just cut it down a little bit so it didn't stick so far off the gun. So those are the firearms that I'm going to use. Glock 17, Glock 19X, and the Daniel Defense V11 M4. I'll be running 2 separate holster systems through this. One is obviously my everyday carry, and I don't always carry this holster, but this is one of the ones I carry the most. This is a Vetter holster. I think it's called a Super Tuck. I absolutely love this holster. I can carry it with a collared shirt tucked in. It sucks it nice and close to my body. I love this little torsion wing, or whatever the hell you call that thing, that just sucks the grip nice close to my body. So one rig that I'll be running is my everyday carry setup, and the other rig that I'll be running is this Orion kind of range belt, battle belt, pistol belt setup. This whole thing is all from T-Rex Arms. This replaced, you guys have probably seen in my videos in the past, I used to run a Tactical Tailor pistol belt, or I think they called it a duty belt or something. That burned up in my other Jeep. I replaced it with this setup from T-Rex Arms. This has been working out awesome. And I've got another video you guys can check out where I'll go into detail on this belt, kind of a whole review on this whole system from T-Rex Arms. Couple little modifications I've made to it. You'll see on my holster here, I run a little duct tape over the screws in the holster. I do that not because I've never had an issue with these screws working loose on this holster, but I have on other holsters. And since I'm carrying this out in the woods, if those screws work loose and fall out and I lose them out in the woods, then I'm pretty much screwed. I don't have a replacement. So by just putting this little piece of duct tape over them, that ensures that, number one, it'll probably help those screws not to work loose. But number two, if they do work loose, it prevents them from actually falling out on the ground and me losing them. Another little modification I made to the holster was ran this little piece of shot cord right there. That's just an extra little bit of retention that I can pop over the gun when I'm running around out in the woods with this on. And that just makes sure that the gun's not going to get knocked out of the holster by a branch or something like that. Keeps it nice and snug in there. When I'm on the range or when I don't feel like I need it, then I just take this shot cord, wrap it around the holster, and it just tucks right there. Couple other little things that are a pretty constant part of my kit, especially now in the winter, are these mechanics wear. I think they actually call these their shooter gloves. They're just a little bit thinner. They're basically the same style as the mechanics wear originals, but these ones are just a little bit thinner and have a little bit different material, so I've got a little bit better dexterity with them to shoot in. And then I'm running the packed club timer for a shot timer. And other than that, I got a couple of target stands and a couple of targets, and that's pretty much it for gear. So one question maybe for me to answer is, why did I pick these two setups for gear? Well, this Orion belt and the setup from T-Rex Arms, that's basically the pistol belt that I carry when I'm out in the woods and everything, when I don't have to worry about concealing, when I can carry stuff on my belt. I like it because I can have a couple of spare pistol mags, a spare rifle mag. I'm running the Safariland QLS system on it, so I can switch out and change the holsters on it depending on what handgun that I want to carry out there. A lot of times when I'm out in the woods, I actually carry a Glock 34, which is a 9mm Glock with a longer barrel, which I really like for out in the woods. I like that. Feel like I get just a little bit better accuracy at longer ranges with it. And then obviously my concealed carry rig, because that's where I wear my gun every single day, and I think it's really important to practice with that. So stick around, guys, and I'll catch you again in episode 2. And as always, appreciate you watching Coyote Works. Hit me up with any questions, comments, and any suggestions or thoughts you guys have. If you have any thoughts on where is an awesome place for me to go get some training, I'd love to hear some more ideas on that too. So, till the next video, guys, Coyote Works, out.